Welcome back, everybody, to another episode, the fourth of our yet-to-be-named Wide Right Highlight Betting Show. Joined by Matthias Schwarzkopf and Jacob England. Austin is away on baby duty this week. But this is obviously our weekly betting segment presented to you by DRF Sportsbook. We have great special setup with them. You can use code WRNL300 to receive a 100% deposit match up to $300 with a minimum of $100. So that's a great way to get when you get your DRF account started. You get a bunch of free money that you can throw in on your first couple bets if you don't lose it all right away.
And that's what I would do.
Absolutely. And you did it again this week. But first off, let's talk about the two Iowa State basketball games going this week. We've got Iowa State at home versus Baylor. And then we've got them on the road versus Oklahoma. So first up on New Year's Eve, Iowa State is currently, we won't have odds for it just yet, but we are showing as a 1-point underdog to Baylor on Ken Palm right now. How do you guys feel about that 1-point gap there?
I think before we started recording this, I mentioned it, but I feel like Baylor's going to win this game, so probably by more than one. So if the line is actually one, I will be taking Baylor to cover in this one.
Yeah, I tend to agree on that. Baylor's a good team. What else is there to say about that?
And I'm in the same boat. I think Baylor takes that game. They may only win by 3, but I think it'll be more than 1. I'm as an Iowa State fan, I'm perfectly happy to be wrong. Just kind of the nature of the situation. But then they're on January 4th. They are at Oklahoma. We are currently shown as a 5-point underdog at Oklahoma. This is one that personally I think we have a better shot at covering. I don't think the gap between Oklahoma and Iowa State is particularly large. I'll take Iowa State to cover those 5 points.
I'm in the same boat.
Same here.
And the good news for Iowa State is, they were a little banged up going into last week before the game was canceled, and it seems like, the extra week of rest. Osuniyi, his ankle, he had an ankle sprain. It seems like that might be kind of clearing up just in time. Some other guys are banged up with some other undisclosed injuries, so got a little more juice in the legs nowadays.
Right. All right, so let's move on to our pro games for the week. Matthias, I'll let you go first. Or I shouldn't just say a pro, but around the country. This will include college football and all that.
So am I still going to pick a pro game too? Or
if you want to, yeah.
Well, I was going to go with the pro around the country, I suppose.
Okay, there you go. What you got?
I'm going back to the Brock Purdy train. They are at Las Vegas. It seems like the 49ers have become a well-oiled machine defensively and offensively. Tons of weapons, even with Deebo Samuel out. And the Raiders are not that good. So,
currently, Deebo Samuel went down, and they still put up a ton of points. That offense still looks great, even without him.
Yeah, and George Kittle is like a man on fire right now with Purdy just tossing the ball and him just doing the rest. It's like
that connection. That connection warms my heart.
It seems like, and I'm not so certain it's just because of Brock, but George Kittle has always been great, really good tight end, top,
for sure.
Probably 2 tight end in the league, 3 if you want to get crazy and talk about more. But you get him the ball and he just makes people miss, or he can run them over. He does all that stuff. So that's like he's had a little bit of a spark here, and it's kind of helped fill the void with Deebo being out. And it sounds like Deebo did some light running last week and all that stuff, so he could try to go this week. They're going to try to get him in before the playoffs start. But anyways, the 49ers are a 6-point favorite at Vegas on Sunday. Give me the 49ers to cover.
Love it. Jacob, what do you got?
I'm actually going to go to the Bills and the Bengals. Look
at that one. That's a 1-point game.
It's hard to go against Joe Burrow right now. He's a man on fire.
Bengals are hot.
I'm actually looking at the over-under, and it's at 49.5. I want to go all the way up on that.
Slam that over.
Yeah, that Josh Allen versus Joe Burrow. That's going to be one hell of a game. I mean, give me the points on that one over. And then I think I'm actually going to pick the Bengals on this one. I think Joe's looking real good.
And this could be an AFC title game preview, just like it was last. Or I guess it was. No, it could be. It could be an
This is
AFC
the Bengals and for Chiefs last year.
Yeah, but it very well could be an AFC title game preview. For these two, so that's going to be an entertaining game for sure. For my pro game, I'm looking at the Jags and the Texans. Jags are currently a -4. They're currently a 4-point favorite over the Houston Texans. Trevor Lawrence has looked pretty good this season. I think we're starting to see what we kind of thought we were going to see out of Trevor Lawrence, where he's going to develop really nicely and start really slinging it around. Jags are looking pretty decent. The Texans are really not. So I'm going to take the Jags to cover -4 there. I think we're starting to see the beginning of the Trevor Lawrence era in Jacksonville, where they can really start building around him, and the Jags become a really good team. So I think give me the Jags to cover -4. This would be a good game to prove it for them going forward.
Interestingly not, the game, the NFC or AFC South comes down to next week's game, no matter what, even if the Jaguars to win and the Titans were to lose. No matter what, or vice versa.
There you go.
So, intrigue in Duval.
For sure. All right. Let's go to our weekly picks. So let's look at what we did last week. So the tricky part here is that Jacob and I both picked something from the Wisconsin-Oklahoma State game, which is going to be starting here pretty soon. We're filming this Tuesday night. So right now, Jacob and I are both TBD. Austin did lose 30 points because the Colts got hammered again, and he did not cover their spread. And Matthias lost 10 units, and he's down to 0 again.
The Justin Fields rushing total did not hit for the first time in 9 weeks.
It finally failed him.
9 weeks.
I respect you riding the train, though. But
honestly, since that first game he hit it, I think it was the Washington Commanders. And then he just obliterated it for the rest of the time. Like after that game, I wrote it.
Just wrote it. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
But so I am no longer going to jump on that train anymore.
Yeah, so we won't know any just yet. But we can get our best bets in for this week. Austin did give me a best bet for him for the week. His lock is going to be a Georgia -6.5. Probably not a bad pick at all there. So Matthias, what is your lock for the week?
I was kind of looking at the college football playoff as well. My first initial thought was to go with Austin, and just because it's the college football playoff is like Georgia's salute, no matter what, I think right now.
Right.
So I do think Ohio State has plenty of talent, but it's also Georgia just offensive. Like Jalen Carter in the middle of their defense is just a total dude. Yeah. Like I can't. It's like he's like Aaron Donald, but he could be better than Aaron Donald. It's gonna be crazy. Just we'll see. We'll see on Sundays. Anyways, so I was gonna go that route, but I'm gonna go the other way, and I think Michigan wins this game, but I will take TCU to cover the 8 points.
You took mine.
Jim Harbaugh. I mean, I still say Michigan's going to win this game. Jim Harbaugh is riding the whole mantra last year that he created because he hadn't beat Ohio State in 6 years, I think it was, until before last year. And he was riding the whole, we're going to beat Ohio State or we're going to die trying. Well, he's done it 2 years in a row. Now he's going to try to do something he didn't do last year after they got their ass kicked by Georgia, is try to get into the national title game, obviously to play Georgia again. So I think team-wise, Michigan has a more well-rounded team, especially on their offensive line going against the TCU defensive front. But the Max Duggan factor is going to keep TCU hanging around, and who knows what could happen. Maybe Max wills them to victory. It could very well happen, but I just think Michigan might just be ultimately, too big, too strong at the end of the day to kind of lean on them a little bit here and close her out.
I was going to say the same thing because TCU is an 8-point underdog right now. I mean, they can cover a touchdown for sure.
I mean, I easily could see. I mean, Michigan they blew out Ohio State. Like they could just turn on the Jets and
they could blow TCU out, but if you want some good value there, take TCU to cover 8 points.
Yeah. Michigan has also shown the ability to play down to opponents and just like let people hang around. I'm not saying playing down to TCU is a bad thing because TCU is obviously a great team there in the college football playoff, but
right.
They tend to sometimes play below what their punching level is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I would agree with that. Jacob, what do you got?
So Austin took Georgia to cover, right?
Austin took Georgia to cover 6.5.
Oh boy.
I see the over/under. I'm going to take the under on that.
You're gonna take Ohio State and Georgia under 62.
62. If you go and look at the Ohio State versus the Michigan, they were under. It was a 45-23 game, and granted, that's getting really close. But I think Georgia's defense is just a tad bit better than what Michigan's defense is. I don't think Ohio State's going to be willy-nilly, throwing touchdowns. So, and Georgia's not known to make a lot of points either. So
Right.
I think it's a safe bet to go under. I'll take 30 units for that. So,
let's see. I've been trying to find one since Matthias took mine.
Price of doing business and letting me go first.
That is true. I should have just kept going in our snake draft order here. Let me.
Also, now that I've picked TCU to cover by 8, definitely take Michigan to cover their 8.
Give me Mississippi State to cover 1 point against Illinois. I think this is going to be a really emotional game for Mississippi State, and I think they're going to want to really come out and kick some ass for Coach Mike Leach.
yeah.
So give me Mississippi State to cover 1 point against Illinois. Yeah, give me that. I think that's going to be one of those emotional games. I think they're going to power through it. I mean, Illinois is a good team. Brett Bielema has done a really good job there so far. But I'm rooting for Mississippi State in that game. I want to see them win that. Maybe that's not fair to Illinois because they haven't really done anything to make me root against them. But I don't know. I liked Mike Leach a lot, so I'm gonna root for his team. Let's see here. I think we're about wrapped up. Anybody got anything they want to close off with? Oh, I should actually mention. I was looking at the DRF specials, and if you are feeling spicy,
I'm always feeling spicy.
There's a special for Michigan and Ohio State to face off in the national championship at plus 345. However, here's a different one that I do kind of like. TCU to play Georgia in the national championship game at plus 395. So if you want a little bit of value there and you think that TCU and you think that Max Duggan can gut it out against Michigan.
I wouldn't touch that Ohio State Michigan one with a 10-foot pole.
No.
I wouldn't either. I think Ohio State's going to get demolished. But or you can take a Big Ten team to win the national title at minus 110. I'll be honest, that feels like really terrible value.
That also feels like bait.
That feels like really bad value. Or you can take South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama all to win. So a big 3-way parlay there on South Carolina, Tennessee, and Alabama at plus 725. I'd be tempted to throw I'd throw $10 down on that.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted to throw $10 down on that.
I know that Clemson's favored in Tennessee, but I just feel like Tennessee has, even though they're, hookers out, they have a high-powered offense, and Alabama is going to be Alabama. And, yeah, I think that's a good bet there.
Yep. Agreed. So, everybody, thank you for watching this week's episode of our yet-to-be-named WRNL Live Betting Show. Remember, you can use the code WRNL300 to receive a 100% deposit match up to $300, minimum of $100 when you create your account for the first time. So definitely use that, and you'll get a nice bonus on your first initial deposit, so that'll be good extra money that you can play with. So you can definitely lose it when you take whatever we're picking on this show. So for Matthias Schwarzkopf, Jacob England, I'm Levi Stevenson. Everybody have a great rest of your week, and good luck.